I think that feels like a nice package there.
Yeah.
Wow, look at those phones lined up. It's Felger and Maz on 98.5, the Sports Hub.
Felger out today. Maz been out all week. So you get the three substitute teachers of yours truly, Big Jim Murray, Cerrone Battle, Michael Hurley, here on an Agenda-Free Friday, which is brought to you by Catches Law. At Catches, they specialize in helping those who have been injured, not only from a one-time incident, but from a lifetime of hard work and labor. Does this sound like you? If so, visit catcheslaw.com. All right, we have been heavy on the Celtics today, and rightfully so, after just that wretched game last night in Philadelphia, which I expected them to win by double digits, but they didn't. And now they're in a Game 7 against the 76ers tomorrow night at 7:30. Let's turn it over to one Jimmy Stewart, big Celtics fan. Anytime you occasionally check him out on Instagram, you see he's not just at a Celtics game. He's, with the hoity-toity people. He's got the floor seats. He's having himself a time. So, Jay Stu, first, are you going tomorrow night? And second, are you surprised that they're in this spot in the first place? Your overall thoughts on your beloved Boston Celtics?
We'll see if I'm going. I'll find out at some point tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon sometime. I'm not excited. I was worried about this series going into it because the Sixers had played the Celtics tough all season long. I like Nick Nurse as a coach. He seems to be able to figure out things in very simple concepts. I think the frustration point with the Celtics is, yes, they're getting their open shots, but they're not making them. Derek White is 0 for whatever on wide open shots. They're still doing what they do, and that's creating the 2-on-1, getting the open shot. They're just not making them. There's something going on with Derek White. I don't like this your turn, my turn thing with Tatum and Brown. It seems to be a consistent thing. I mean, do we have to go back to if they lose tomorrow night? And I think there's a possibility they lose tomorrow night. I don't think they will, but I think it's possible. Are we going back to, well, when the season is over, are we doing the Tatum and Brown thing?
Are we getting Giannis talk?
Can't win with both of them again.
Yeah, I think we're getting Giannis talk, right, too. I mean, it's already been there. Even with...
I don't want Giannis.
Me
if
either.
I'm trading
Same
Tatum,
here.
I want something younger, and I want a boatload of draft picks. That's what I want. But I will go back to, I thought that they played better. They moved the ball better when Jaylen Brown during the regular season was running the offense. I feel like whatever is going on with Tatum, he's being too cute in trying to read the defense that is coming at him, and he's falling into bad habits. Now, with Jaylen Brown, last night was atrocious. He can't turn the ball over. He can't get in foul trouble, any of that stuff. But I like going forward, if we have to do the Tatum and Brown thing, I think Jaylen Brown's the better player to move forward with how the NBA is going.
But which of the two do you think would actually get moved?
Jaylen.
Yeah, I do. That's what I think, too.
I mean, I'm starting to worry that Jason Tatum is James Harden, except with a championship. Just with the way he pounds the ball, he's looking for the 2-on-1, which is, I understand, is the offense. But like James Harden didn't win anything, and Tatum's at least got that. And there's no doubt that Tatum's the more skilled basketball player on so many levels. But sometimes the greatest skilled player doesn't always mean that the team can be most successful. Just look at how they played for the games without him versus how they played with him. It's different.
I'll say this.
It's different here, Jim.
One of the other big takeaways, if they were to lose this game tomorrow night, and you already see some of this floating around on social media, and understandably so, it really puts a dent in the NBA regular season, I think. Like, in that it's...
Oh, you're seeing it already.
Yeah, and...
What's going to be annoying, though, Jim, I'm sorry to cut you off, Jim, is that the people who've been screaming gap year, gap year, gap year, they're going to be right, and they shouldn't be right. Because Jaylen Brown should finish in the top 5 of MVPs, and he's brought all these kids up. He's brought everybody who's a draft pick, young, undrafted player. He's brought them all up. And to go out to a lower seed, that doesn't make me feel good. That frustrates me.
Yeah, and there is a part of it, though, that I do like, because I've liked it when it happens in the NFL, where you see a team that underachieves in the regular season all of a sudden get into the playoffs. It happened to the Patriots in 2018, the 2010 Packers, the one title that Aaron Rodgers won. I know he got injured that year, but you look at a team, and by the time you get to December, you're like, these guys suck. But they happen to get a little hot at the end. They squeak in. Next thing you know, they're hoisting the Lombardi Trophy. You usually don't see that type of thing in the NBA, especially in the NBA. But I mean, it's certainly you can make the case this is what's happened with the Orlando Magic, and this is what's happening with the Sixers.
The Nuggets series, they should have killed the Minnesota with the injuries they had early in that series. That should have been over. That one's over with. I mean, the Lakers Houston series almost in a weird way. Everybody thought the Lakers were going to get destroyed because they were missing Luka and missing Austin Reeves. They go up 3-0. But now on the flip, the Lakers could possibly
that
blow.
starts to look like
That's
fool's
starting
gold
to
a
look
bit, too.
right. You seeing it in multiple ways. I think with the Celtics, I was always trying to caution people about the regular season versus the playoffs. I think you had a lot of teams purposely trying to lose this year. A lot of teams that weren't playing hard, teams in the middle that really weren't giving their all, waiting for the playoffs. And I think teams, I had Detroit in that category. I have San Antonio Spurs, and I got to put the Celtics in there as a team. I thought the Celtics would be a top 3-4 team in the East. I didn't think they would be as good as they were at times during the season, but I thought they'd be up there. But I think teams like the Spurs, teams like the Detroit Pistons, and the Celtics to an extent, they played hard playoff-type basketball for 82 games, and that's why they won the games they won. Now, when everybody else is playing like that, it's hard to look like yourself. It's hard to stand out because now hustle and effort is not going to win. Skill has to win. And I think the Celtics are kind of running into that a little bit. But, again, they had a 3-1 series lead in this with the way they've been playing. But I think they have to figure out a way to go up another notch beyond playing the Utah Jazz in March or in February or something like that. And the Celtics did struggle against good teams during the season. They weren't good against the top level teams, but they beat the teams they were supposed to win. They're supposed to beat. But I think all in all, I think Tatum Brown, even if they lose, I think those guys are safe.
But also last night specifically, when you get Jaylen Brown in foul trouble early, when you get Kata in foul trouble early, and you've been 8 minutes in, you've done 8 men in 8 minutes for that game, and then you've gone 10 deep going into the second quarter. You're just trying to figure it out. Like, first quarter, 9-9 for Tatum. You thought he was going to have an all-time night, but with no Jaylen Brown there, they're just going to shift their coverages right to Tatum, and you're kind of porked. And then the second half, that first 30 seconds out of the second half, they were just a mess. Like, because Jaylen now can't defend aggressively, and he can't play offensively aggressively because he's playing with 2, 3, 4 fouls so early and so quickly.
Let's mix in a couple of calls here. A lot of you been waiting, talking Celtics. Rajiv in California. You're next here on Felger and Mess. Hey, Rajiv.
Hey, good talking to you guys. I got 3 sort of points to make. I completely agree with everything that Cerrone's saying. And that caller earlier, Jerry, kind of reminded me about like how when you guys were talking about basketball in the 90s, right? It was very physical. And I feel like these days with the three-point line, it's sort of become, insert adjective here, blankification of sort of players, right? Just everything shoot from the outside. And I feel like, point 2 with Mazzulla, he thinks he knows better than everybody else, right? The purpose of a coach is if your stars aren't playing, you need to have them on a short leash and go with something different, right? Sort of like, bringing back to football, right? Early days when, Bledsoe got injured and he was ready to sort of come back, Bill Belichick is like, no, I'm going to go with the hot hand Tom Brady over, Bledsoe. I feel like if it was Mazzulla, he's like, no, I'm just going to stick with Tatum no matter what. And the third point, that's why you have a bench, right? If your star players aren't playing well, go to the bench. It's not like they're water boys. They're in the NBA for a reason, right? You need to sort of run and gun. It kind of reminds me of a time like I was playing basketball once, and a player I was covering said, hey, I hope you're ready to run because I'm going to run you up and down the court. And I feel like that's what they need to do.
Mazzulla definitely has a bad stubbornness streak, and I do wonder, with the experience of someone like Sam Cassell, like you have really good assistant coaches, whether it's him, Tony Dobbins. Like, are you ever listening to these guys, or are they just put on the pay no mind list?
Didn't he say that at Media Day a couple years ago? They give me suggestions, and my job was to tell them no.
Oh, I don't remember. He
said like a comment, something similar to that. But everybody's like, yeah, tough guy Mazzulla. It's like, okay, that's how you get fired.
I think in practice and game prep, he defers to his assistant coaches to give him information, and then he makes the decision based on the information.
Hey, you got to make real-time decisions if something's going on. But that caller made a great point. Joe Mazzulla absolutely would have left Bledsoe in and traded Tom Brady away.
Oh, yeah. Jim in New Hampshire with a thought on Joel Embiid. Go ahead, Jim.
Yes, thank you very much. I honestly believe that Game 7 is Phillies to lose because they have a 7'1", 280-pound center that, we've called him a dog. He's been a dog. I believe he's been a dog in his career because he's never been in shape. But who do we have that can cover him? I wish Gasper was still here because he made the point that Cato will pick up a foul on the opening tip. Then he'll get his second a minute into the game. And Vucevic is the worst defensive center I have ever seen in my life. So if Nick Nurse doesn't go through Embiid first and play Maxey off of him, then they'll lose. But I think it is their game to lose.
Well, the Sixers have always had a 7'1", 280-pound center. He's never been past the second round. And as strong and powerful as Embiid is in such an offensive mismatch, he gets tired instantly. And the way he shoots jump shots. When he's tired, he starts shooting mid-range jump shots. He gets to that foul line, jump shot, top of the key, and he takes a fade. There's a picture they keep running on here from NBC Sports where he's shooting a jump shot from the top of the key, and the only person within 10 feet of him is Peyton Pritchard. And he's still shooting a fadeaway jumper because he's so tired. And then by the third, fourth quarter, he's standing closer now to the three-point line. He gets further and further away from the rim the more tired he gets. He's always a mismatch. Vucevic is a bad defender, but everybody against a juiced-up Embiid is going to look like a bad defender. He's that good when he stays on the block. The problem is he won't. He's shooting, I think, 13% from three in the series, and his field goal percent is under 50%, as good as he's been looking, because he stays away from that three-point line. And I think the Celtics have to take advantage of that and find a way to get him into the jump shot Embiid mode earlier, and that's by running and playing with pace and taking advantage of his legs. Al Horford, as old as he was at his times, he owned Embiid. He would sprint on offense, and on defense, he would just stand his ground and be strong. I'm not jumping to draw fouls. I'm just going to stand there and put my hands up. And Embiid would just get frustrated and start flopping and taking threes. The Celtics have to take the same strategy. Run them up and down the court and be strong.
Well, I'm sure you Bruins fans are already starting to mill about Causeway, fill up the likes of Hurricanes, the Harp, Banners, Ward 8, what have you, as you're going to get lubed up for tonight's game. Well, when we return...
Go to Alcove, too. Alcove's a good spot.
I was going to say, Murray, I like that you snuck in a nice little Ward 8, nice restaurant in there, not the drinking holes.
They make a nice Sazerac there.
Nice
I do like that place. Well, either way, no matter where you're going, David Pasternak has a message for you all. We will get to that coming up next.
Mike and Tony have a definite chemistry.
Are they? 100%. Are they? Yes. 100. Do I study? Do you
Consider them the periodic table of sports talk.
put down your pipe and smoke it? But sorry. We need to blow a gasket.
No. Blow it, baby. Blow it.
Felger and Maz.
Yeah, message to the fans going back to Boston now. Just be loud, please, and be patient. We're going to shoot the puck. Don't worry.
That is your super cut of the week. David Pasternak pleading to you, the Bruins fan, who's now getting lubed up a couple of hours before the puck drop. Like I said the analogy the other day, Michael Hurley, that's like when you're 12 years old playing Little League and you can feel the heat of your pissed dad sitting in the stands. Is this pussy going to strike out again?
Swing the bat, Jim.
Yeah, it's just that. 20,000 people just pissed and angry. Down 1-0 to Buffalo tonight in the first period. I knew they were going to ruin my weekend. Can you please just, everyone, calm down? We're going to shoot the puck. Please be patient. That's your super cut of the week. When you're thinking about your next haircut, use your head. Head to any of the 120 Boston Providence Supercut salons. Supercuts, real smart hair. Before you go back to the calls, it's mostly Celtics calls, obviously, because of that.
Yeah, start drinking early.
Yeah. Thoughts on tonight? Do we get a Game 7 back in Buffalo? Which, if we do, I do believe, well, then all the pressure's on Buffalo. Because I thought that they looked tight, nervous. What I thought the Sabres might look like in this series, and why I like the Bruins going into it, is that team for the first time in 14, 15 years into the postseason. I know there's some playoff experience there, certainly with Lindy Ruff, who's coached 130 playoff games, whatever the hell it is, but I thought they felt nervous for most of the game, Buffalo. Their offense went dormant for big chunks of it, and the Bruins did a better job of dealing with Buffalo's forechecking. They got in their way. The refs can't call interference every single time, so if they can slow it down, muck it up, make it a coin flip game tonight, I like their chances in a Game 7, and then all the pressure's on Buffalo.
Yeah, I mean, the Buffalo factor is the reason I think a lot of us thought the Bruins had a chance, because when you factor in just that whole city, not just the Sabres, you throw the Bills in there. Like, that is not a city that has experienced a rich tradition of winning. So
DNA.
You go to the playoffs for the first time in 15 years. They're a good team. I think they are a better team than the Bruins, but that factor was the reason I think I gave the Bruins a 50-50 shot in this series. What I didn't really factor in was that when the Sabres play here, they could score 4 goals in the first period and just utterly suffocate the Bruins. So that's the fear tonight. And Pasternak says that they finished that game 5 on home ice with 24 shots on goal in a game they lost 6-1 and barely scored at all. So I don't know. I think the crowd's going to be tight because of just the last time you saw them, but if, they do a good job in there, they'll play that overtime goal. They'll be blasting. It'll be a good start, but the Bruins have to get the first goal.
What is the issue with playing in Boston? What is in that building? Why is there such an issue with playoff games in the Garden for both teams?
So Felger talked at length at this the other day, and we got the biggest kick out of that clip from Pasternak, because I agree completely. It's because the baseline is disappointment. I am of the belief, Cerrone, that 2011, that cup run, is the anomaly. Mm-hmm. My whole life, the Bruins exist to make me pissed and to let me down, especially come the postseason. And so I think that's the Bruins experience. How are they gonna F this up? Oh, of course. Oh, you just ruined my Sunday. Oh, of course, you're down 4-0 in the first period. And against this Sabres team on a Sunday, you just ruined my Sunday. This is what I did. I spent this extra money. Go F yourselves. I hate you and I hate all of this. That feeling permeates that building. You just, Hurley, you've been here like...
We were doing it earlier off the air, like
some of the worst elimination games you've been at.
I mean, Game 7 2019 is like its own category. That was special, but there have you mentioned, or I mentioned, the Washington loss, Game 7. Yeah. That was a tough one. Right after winning, you had the same roster that won the Cup a year before. He'll lose in the first round. There's been some Montreal Game 7, I think, was
08.
Well, that one, but that team was sort of overachieving. They were coming back. There was a post-Cup year, 14 maybe.
Oh, yeah,
I think 14 they lost PK Subban from the blue line, and you're just like...
09 Carolina. I mean, there was an air of violence in the air as that game started to tighten up, and they ended up losing it overtime. It's just
Philly the next year, the 3-0 series lead.
Yeah, Cerrone, it's the Celtics experience is you can be angry, and people might get angry tomorrow night, but it's not... There's a guttural thing that happens, I feel like, with Bruins fans, that even if it's early, we're down 1-0. Oh, you money, you ruining this, and I spent all this money. You owe me, you suckers.
It's like the last semblance of the Boston sports scene we grew up in, because Fenway used to be like that.
That's true.
And
you
oh my God, Foxborough Stadium used to. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Definitely. Every time you went,
and everything's just much more pleasant now, and sort of people seeking out to have a good time. But that Bruins experience, especially when things go south, like they were outshot 19-5 in the first period on Sunday. That game was over before it started. If that happens again tonight, it's going to be bedlam.
It's one thing I've said on the show we do on Saturdays is we have Bruins fans just call in and just let it out. Just let them get their frustrations out. It's great. I honestly think Bruins fans are the most logical of the 4 major sports. I think they're the last true fan left. Everybody else looks at their team like, I'm talking Patriots. Red Sox fans even do it. They look at their team like, oh, it's going to be better tomorrow.
There's no delusion with Bruins fans.
The Bruins fans, they just see it as is. Yeah. Take it one game at a time, one period at a time. And they don't get too high. They can stay low. You have to earn our respect and our fandom. We're not just going to just show up and say, we got this. It's, okay, well, how are you going to ruin this for me? How are you going to mess this up? And I think they're the last, like you said, of the old way we used to look at these teams. The Bruins are the last ones left that they haven't been turned. They haven't been tricked by flashy lights and nice things, nice furniture in the house. They're like, no, you're going to have to prove it, and you're going to have to show us.
I think it's a hockey thing, too, because people like hockey parents, you're up at these ungodly hours, getting ice time. You're going to Hockey Town in Saugus at 5 a.m. so you can go out there. So there's an extra thing, I think, that's an extra level of investment in it, too, both financially and emotionally, that when you're hockey people, like, you're up at odd hours. You're putting in, you're paying more money for your kids to play. And it's how much for skates and helmets, and then you're going to these Bruins games, and then they let you down. Like, there's all of that. And I can tell you, like, there is something, it's definitely a hockey thing, because I got to go to Nassau Coliseum before they closed it, and the Islanders moved, or they went to Brooklyn for a while.
A true barn. The last barn left.
It was like, it's the closest I will ever get to taking a time machine. And this was in 2013, but it might as well have been 1993, because the things that were being said to women and just how people were acting, I was like, I feel like I've gone back in time. This is incredible. But that's that old school hockey experience. But the point is, guys, if you're going tonight, listen to Pasternak. Just be patient. Be patient. We're gonna shoot the puck.
No, listen to Tom Brady.
Yeah, start drinking early.
They don't need to be told that on a Friday night.
No,
in April. But I will say, because I mentioned it earlier in one of the headlines, like if you can get through this round, sometimes I feel like as sports fans, like we deserve things. I think we deserve a Bruins Canadiens playoff series because that rivalry's been so dead for a decade.
A long
the Canadiens
time.
have been sort of meaningless. I don't think the Bruins will win, but just
That'd be fun as hell, though.
Get another week or two of hockey when it's 80 degrees out. You hear Felger bitching about Pasternak or whatever on the way to the game. Like that's an experience we need back.
I would just add that when you just said that, I thought about something. We always talk about conspiracy theories in sports and stuff like that. The NHL and NBA, wouldn't it be better for the Bruins to move on?
Oh, original six. If you got Bruins, Montreal, and
Celtics, Knicks.
The only thing, and I know Buffalo is not a city that really has a major metropolitan area that gets things done, their TV ratings in the Stanley Cup playoffs are always like, it'll be, so say it's Chicago and Boston in the Stanley Cup final. It'll be Boston, Chicago, Buffalo, and then no one else. Like Buffalo's.
And I think it was the best in the country for the Olympics, too. They're hockey crazy there.
So I don't know what that does for the networks.
Yeah, I was about to say, the networks are looking at these games tonight and possibly another game for the Bruins and the Celtics tomorrow. Like, okay, hit the switch. All of a sudden Embiid's not getting the call.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden he's on the ground.
I'd love
it. It's
that one. If you have Boston, New York, or Philly, New York, you're probably fine either way.
Kevin, I should have looked. Is that Noah Ostlund in for Buffalo? Is he back or is he still injured? Because I felt like that dented them.
I haven't seen an update, but after Game 6, Ruff made it seem like he was not coming back.
I think he's out.
Good. Well, he's a good passer and a playmaker. I thought that they missed him in that game. All right. Okay. So, see, be positive, Bruins fans.
I believe he's out.
All right. Very good. Well, there'll be more in the update here with Hurley, and then your calls and emails the rest of the way here on Felger and Maz on Agenda Free Friday.
Yeah, start drinking early.
Thoughts, calls, emails.
Oh, yeah!
I get my jollies out of it. I do. I'm not a good person. Go ahead.
Felger and Maz.
Oh, yeah!
98.5, the Sports Hub.
It's the Coleman Electric email of the day. Dear Felger, I really hate you. And I think Maz is a boob. It's electric. The Coleman Electric email of the day. It's electric. Send yours to Felger at 985thesportshub.com.
The email of the day is brought to you by Coleman Electric, a bunch of really good electricians helping homeowners like you. When you need an electrician, call Coleman.
It's electric.
It's electric. All right, email of the day. Got a couple here I want to read. One from Gary, who writes, guys, writing this email hurts. Big Jim, you're my favorite on the Felger and Maz show. Kind of the, I don't know if I can use that word, kind of the tallest little person situation, but still. And Cerrone is an A-plus pinch hitter. Your takes usually are right on. But Cerrone, I hate glorifying the old days of basketball. Do you want to go back to the days of the Pat Riley Knicks? Those games were gross wrestling matches. I hate when a team that endlessly hacks gets lauded as tough. The bad boy Pistons always get called tough. But they were just a bunch of clowns who tackled you. Not tough. I hate the super slow-mo. He grazed his arm fouls, too, but please let's not call for a return of the Anthony Mason Knicks in their final scores of 81-78. Gary in Scituate.
Didn't the Pistons win back-to-back championships?
Yeah.
Didn't they beat the Lakers? Didn't they beat Magic? Didn't they beat Jordan? What are we talking about here?
Yeah, I have no problem. And I like those teams were, like I was rooting for the Celtics then too, but those teams were entertaining and they were really tough. No, I don't want early aughts NBA. I don't want that.
It wasn't the 90s. People always say 90s basketball was bad. No. Early 2000s NBA basketball was bad.
I got the numbers. We talked about it earlier. The Pistons 04 finals, there were 5 games, so that means 10 opportunities for teams to hit 100 points. Just once, and it was in the clinching Game 5. The Pistons got exactly 100 points. Other finals in that series, 87-75, 99-91, 88-68 final, 88-80 final, and then 187. Just that was 22 years ago, I guess now, but still.
That's when it was bad. The 90s was a combination of physicality and skill.
Right.
You still had guys. Dave Robinson was scoring 70 in a game, also having 10 blocks at the same time. You know what I'm saying? It was Akeem Olajuwon was skilled offensively. Ewing was skilled. Shaq was getting 30 points a game. Jordan was skilled getting 30 points a game. That early 2000s when it was one superstar and 10 fighters, That was bad basketball. But no, I would love for 90s basketball. And for people saying we don't want to go back to that, they were getting Super Bowl ratings in the finals back then. If you go back and look at the highest rated NBA finals and the numbers, all of them were in the 90s in the ratings. They were getting 30 million people watching basketball games. You're never going to see that again with this kind of basketball.
There was an element, though, when you were doing it earlier, saying what you wanted, all the things. And I'm just like, yeah. And I'm like, what do we do next? Talk about the travel? They got to call more travel.
Yeah,
like,
you got to.
This is old man lamenting. Like, it's gone.
It is.
Like, I think we lost that war decades ago.
It's never going to go back. But there needs to be some kind of balance.
And I'm reading this one because it blows smoke up our asses, and it's funny. It's from Cadet, I believe. Hopefully I'm saying the name correctly. I listen to the Sports Hub every day, 2 to 6, and I don't even know why I bother. Every time I listen, I'm always angry. It makes me want to run full speed headfirst into a brick wall and then lay down in the middle of 93. But not today. Today I feel calm, engaged, and well-educated after listening to the show. The only conclusion I can come to is the lack of Felger and Maz. That being said, when are we permanently getting Murray and Battle weekdays 2 to 6 on the Sports Hub? That's very nice of you to say, Cadet in Brockton. He also says, P.S. Shout out to Cerrone Battle, the hardest working, most articulate, most educated man in the business. Every time you're on, I smile ear to ear. That part I will say, yes, more Cerrone.
I've never seen this level of compliment. The caller earlier who agreed with every single thing
don't agree
said.
with everything I'm saying. Like, don't do that.
You should have started spouting off some silliness at that point.
And let us not forget, the man drives all the way from Raleigh to be here in person. And with these gas prices in this economy, unbelievable. That's the level of dedication you get from one Cerrone Battle. All right, your calls the rest of the way. Let's go to Mike in Woburn. You're next here on Felger and Mass. Hello, Mike.
Guys, how are you? If I drove that far to go on somewhere, I'd be the most miserable. Everything would be negative on that I'd be talking about today. God bless it. Cerrone's soul is like pure, because that much time in a car would make me insane. The Bruins go to halftime. The beer and the hockey fight videos are flowing like wine. Get ready, lube up. I don't want to be disappointed like I was. You guys called it 14. When they still had the core of the Cup team, it was still there. Again, they had Iginla. When they lost that series to Montreal, who wasn't a better team than them, because they refused to add somebody to replace Dennis Seidenberg because they lost him in December, and you saw the next year that they were completely in cap jail, and there was the door was shutting. That was the worst year. That was the worst. I don't think I felt worse about any Bruins loss than that one, because it was the door slamming shut on that core. This team, it's open-ended. I just want to see them. Look, you guys talk about the ratings in Buffalo. These people are so used to failure that they want to watch any sport to distract themselves from what's going on with the local teams. Like you said, the Olympics. Professional cornhole, Buffalo fans are all over it. They want all of it because they don't want to be reminded of what their team could do in the next 2 games. Choke historically. It's a Buffalo tradition.
Thanks, Mike. We'll go to – go ahead.
I was about to say, well, look at it from that perspective. You know, the Bruins, you talk about misery and all that other stuff. Like, Buffalo's worse. Isn't it more likely for them to shoot themselves in the foot over the next – couple games and possibly even the Bruins are? I mean,
you'd think
aren't they the favorite coming into this series?
Yes.
You know, they were the team with all the expectations. Like you said, you get back to a game 7, all the pressure's on them. The Bruins are kind of playing with house money here in this situation. I think they were expected to lose, but I think by them putting pressure on them and winning those couple games the way they did, staying in this, I think is giving people optimism and making Buffalo a little tight here going into this game tonight.
Have not won a playoff series, the Sabres, since 2007.
Yeah, the pressure's already on.
2007.
Pressure's on.
Jay and Lynn on the Celtics. Go ahead, Jay.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Apologize for agreeing with everything that Cerrone has said. but in every series other than this Celtics series that I've watched in the playoffs, there has been some sort of scuffle, somebody grabbing somebody's jersey, somebody trash talking, and I just don't think the Celtics have that in them. And I don't know if it's because Tatum comes from Duke and they just always want to complain and that type of stuff, but he's just acting too soft. I want him or anybody on the team to mix it up a little bit. Last game would have been perfect. I'm not sure Game 7's the spot for that. But, hit a shot and then say, you can't guard me. Do something that makes them get on their heels a little bit instead of just feeling like Philly can push us around like they do right now and over the last 2 games. It's really frustrating, And one other thing that worries me is I know they don't have a good bench. We have a better bench. We have a better starting five, in my opinion, as well. But their bench only had 6 points last night. And that is really – I don't want anybody on that bench to get going in Game 7 when Missoula won't go to his bench. And it's just their 5 starters last night whooped our 5 starters' butts up and down the floor, and that just shouldn't happen.
In the Knicks game, they were up 50. And next thing I know, Mitchell Robinson is choking a guy out. Like it got – the Knicks still found a way
to have energy.
To find the energy to say, let's still mix it up and let them know there's no comeback coming. It got dirty. Guys got ejected and thrown out of that game, and it was a 50-point game. The Celtics have to find a way. I'm saying nobody get thrown out, but find a way to be physical and let them know you're not going to just do what you want to do against us on either end of the court. And I've seen them do that. I've seen them trash talk. I've seen Jason Tatum hit a three and tell them, get this guy out of here. That type of stuff. I just haven't seen it in this series. And it's kind of like, I know Tatum and Embiid are good friends off the court. They work out, do things together. Paul George, he's had them on his podcast. They're all buddy-buddy with the guys on the other side.
Friendly.
And you see it showing up in moments of this series.
Sorry to say it, Cerrone, but the Knicks did lose the fourth quarter 25-23 last night. So despite that, tough one for them.
Sorry.
Mike in Vermont says here he thinks he's found the problem with the Celtics. Tell us, Mike, what is it?
Hey, Murray.
Hello. Hi. How are you?
Hey, man, I talked to you before. I called in about something being wrong with Tatum, and then we talked about the trade about Maxey and Edgecombe. It doesn't look too bad now. I think you would skip the draft picks if you had to. I want draft picks. I want all. I love the Celtics. But anyway, getting back to something more important, Brown, is not the same player he has been in other years. I think by playing both of them at the same time, they're cutting down. Brown was like the road runner this year. He'd go from one side to the other side, and if he couldn't eventually get in, he would give the ball up. Now he goes towards Tatum, he stops. And that's why I think he's turning the ball over, and he's doing everything he's doing because he doesn't have the room to roam to play his game, the fifth best player in the league this year.
Well, I think some of it is he's preoccupied with looking for a call where he ends up getting the foul,
instead of trying to score.
Yeah, rather, and stop stiff arming everyone in their gut.
And he would do that. Anybody who plays enough basketball knows this. When a guy starts pushing you off or trying to put his shoulder into you, it's because he can't get past you. He can't get by Paul George. He can't get by Maxey or Edgecombe because they're too quick for him. So he starts using the muscle. And now Kelly Oubre's waiting on it. He's watching his body language, and the minute he goes like this, he's like, hey, I'm just going to throw myself back, and he's going to – it looks like he's pushing him because his arm is on him. When the guy falls, he falls through with it. So it looks like an offensive foul. But they're anticipating that because Jaylen Brown, I know the guys love him. The guy just got a top 5 player in the league. He doesn't have a bag. He doesn't have the ability to create enough space on his own like a Jason Tatum or like Maxey or Paul George where they just create an extra – foot of space where they get clean shots off, and he gets frustrated and starts pushing people. But Jaylen Brown this season, as good as he's been, this isn't nothing new. He led the league in turnovers. He led the NBA in turnovers. This is what he's done all season because of the high. When your usage goes up, the more chances for turnovers go up as well. And he turned the ball over a lot this year. They played slow. They didn't have a lot of assists. They were one of the bottom teams in the league in passing the ball, but they found a way to hit the three and play good defense. He got his. He got to the foul line a lot. His numbers went up. But they hit the three. They played good defense. That's all they did all season. They're not hitting the three. They're not playing good defense. That's why they're in a dogfight. And I think a lot of people are putting this on Tatum because in your eyes it looked easy for 80 games. And now when it looks tough, it's like, no, this is playoff basketball.
It's a different animal.
I'm not blaming the guy that's averaging 25, 12, and 8 or 7, whatever it is. It's not. He's shooting like 47% from the floor. He's not hitting the three, but hitting everything else. I'm not blaming him or Brown. As a team, they have to be better. As a coaching staff, they have to be better. Taking one guy off the court here or there, it's not going to make them better. They've been playing together too long to all of a sudden say, well, let's just do this, let's do that. No, they have to figure it out as a team and get better and figure out how to go from playing regular season ball to playing playoff ball like they did when they built the 3-1 lead in this series.
Let's do the final word.
Hey, it's Felger here.
Now on Felger and Maz.
It's the final
word. Recapping this 4-hour show in 4 minutes, which leads to the question, does it really need to be 4 hours long?
No.
All right, the final word is brought to you by Town Fair Tire. For the guaranteed lowest prices on tires, go to Town Fair Tire because nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. I don't know what the final word is going to be, but I bet Jimmy Stewart does.
Yeah, I just told you off the air that it was the week in review.
It is.
He did tell you.
It is, everybody.
Good listening skills, Hurley.
The week in review.
Thank you.
What an a-hole.
Baby.
Dude, you failed. You just failed. You just got fired. After making the playoffs and winning a World Series, you just failed. The organization. You failed on your job. You failed. I'm happy. He cared more about that bucket of crap. His GM, how it looked, what people are saying, what's the narrative. He cared more about that for a long time than he did about actually winning. And it's about time. They never should have extended him. He never should have signed it. And he deserves to go. Bye-bye. How did Marcelo Meyer sound right there?
Happy.
How about that? He finally got one. It finally worked. Finally. It finally worked. For once. After dozens and dozens and dozens of cherry-picking, zone-flying, stat-humping breakaway attempts from David Pastrnak, they finally got one. You finally he got one. You know what? Big Jim Murray, Mark Dondero. It's pasta for dinner. It's pasta.
I mean, I hate the Red Sox. Yeah.
Raise it, blow it. Raise it, blow it. It was all, it's not much in context there. All right, week in review. Great work there, Jimmy Stewart. Michael Hurley, good to see you, bud.
You too. That was fun.
Read your works at Boston Sports Journal, yes.
Occasionally, yeah. Pop in there.
Hear you here on the Sports Hub occasionally.
Occasionally here.
And the same with...
Hey, it was also good for me to meet Cerrone in person.
Yeah, finally got to meet him. We've done stuff together before, but it was always through
virtual
the internet,
and
this is
via
better.
Zoom.
It's much better.
And Cerrone, always a pleasure.
Hey, yes, sir. Thanks for having me on.
On tomorrow at 2 with Leroy Irvin?
Yes.
All right, in person, and then safe travels on the way back.
Yes, sir.
On
Thank you.
Sunday. Thanks to Kevin Majori and, of course, Jimmy Stewart behind the glass. Jay Stu, we talked about it earlier off the air. One of these teams, hopefully both win, but one of them better, because what are we going to do if
you
they
want to
both
talk
lose?
about an ultimate porking, like an
man.
ultimate other side of the spectrum? If both teams win out, we get Bruins Canadians, we get Celtics Knicks. If they both lose out,
you got Red Sox
porked from like May 6th until May 25th.
May 25th? I would say the end of July. They one of them better win. They bet
June 1st. June 1st. June 2nd, excuse me, A.J. Brown. It will get things going again.
There you go. All right.
Celtics will win.
But that is capital P, capital O, capital R, capital K, capital E, capital D, porked.
All right, so fingers crossed. Hope for the best. Coming up, Baseball Hour with Matt McCarthy. That will do it for us. We'll return Monday. Hopefully the Bruins and Celtics win. We're talking about wins and series wins come Monday. See you then. Bye.
Yeah, start drinking early. Get nice and rowdy. It's a 4:15 game. They'll have a lot of time to get lubed up and come out here and cheer for their home team.